There is an evil spirit in Kenya that is resident in some leaders. They churn out falsehood. They oppose everything for the sake of opposing. I mean, foot and mouth disease, PPR, are diseases we have been fighting ever since I was born. It is nothing new. So anybody opposing vaccination to eliminate FMD and PPR is simply mad and unreasonable and possibly stupid. I mean, honestly, how else can you explain? You know? Or maybe they don't have cattle. Maybe they don't understand what this is all about. You know? So if you are used to planting things, you don't know about livestock, please, when we are having a conversation about livestock, shut up. At least for those of us who keep cattle.
That is President William Samoei Ruto addressing Kenyans as far as the vaccination of animals is concerned. Kenyans are opposed to the vaccination of animals. The government is planning to vaccinate millions of herbivores, including cattle, sheep, goats, the so-called ruminants. And when you look at William Samoei Ruto of late, Kenyans are worried by the language of the president. I tend to think that the communication experts or the people in charge of communication could be failing the president, because when it comes to communication, the language should be presidential. If I may ask you, because you have been listening to William Samoei Ruto, and he has been actually using a language that has raised many questions. Do you think this language is presidential as far as language etiquette is concerned? Because you see, when it comes to language use, we have what we call register in Kiswahili, sajili. For example, if you go to a burial situation, the language used there, the song sung there, are different from that of a wedding or from a circumcision. And now when you look at now the position that William Samoei Ruto holds, and then you listen to the language that he's using, then it raises many questions. The meaning of the language is in the voice projection, the tone, and the body language, the facial expression. In fact, the body language is more powerful than the verbal language. Non-verbal cues tells a lot about the meaning of the message that the messenger is carrying. In this video, ladies and gentlemen, I want to review to you guys why people tend to use this kind of language. Because if you ask me, this is insult. This is insulting. This is why you have a leader insulting the citizen. This is when you have a leader, for example, maybe in office, say a headmaster insulting the teachers, or maybe a director of a company insulting the other managers, or the senior manager insulting the workers. What goes inside, or what motivates the person to insult the others? Number one is out of fear. William Samoei Ruto is fearing to fail. When somebody is actually having fear in his mind, he may resort to insulting others. He may resort to using this kind of language. And I want to be challenged by any student of psychology here, and he will tell you that one of the reasons why people insult each other is because of fear. Number two is because they know that they feel that they know everything. When somebody feels that he doesn't require your opinion, when somebody feels that whatever you are saying doesn't make much sense, when he feels that your views are very, very primitive, such a person may resort to insult. When you look at William Samoei Ruto, he is actually not challenging the people with the different opponents. Because when you tell somebody that he's a fool, when you tell somebody he's stupid, you are not objective. No, if the response was objective, or for example, he's supposed to address the topic itself. A student of communication will tell you that you are supposed to talk about the subject, not about you're supposed to talk about the topic of discussion, but not the person. So we should be able to differentiate the debate and the person. So here, William Samoei Ruto is a failing. The other reason why people insult others is because they want to humiliate them. You feel that this person point is not valid, and the only way you can respond to such a person is to insult him. In the process, you humiliate him. And you see, when somebody is humiliated because you want to offend him deliberately, such a person is going to change his line of thinking or reasoning, or is going to keep quiet. So here, William Samoei Ruto wants the opponent to keep quiet. He wants to offend them. The other reason is that you may have uncontrolled anger, and this anger is going to burst at some point. The emotions becomes very, very high. So William Samoei Ruto is angry because Kenyans are opposing most of his points. In fact, anything that William Samoei Ruto is bringing is being opposed. So what has been happening in his mind is anger is building up every day. So what he's doing, he is exploding. And as he explodes, he's releasing that tension. And the issue here is that even when he releases that tension, he's releasing the tension in a way that should not be used. In fact, he can release that tension by talking straight and maybe calling people in a town meeting and giving his take without resorting to what look like insult. The other reason is a person may feel insecure. If you look at William Samoei Ruto, one of the reasons why he rushed to Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is because his leadership is being opposed from all corners. The church is opposing him. The Gen Z are opposing him. Everybody is opposing him. The opposition is opposing him. The workers are opposing him. So he is feeling insecure. And because he's feeling insecure, he feels frustrated. And he resorts to insulting Kenyans. He resorts to this kind of language. There is also the feeling of a perceived threat. Those people who abuse others, who insult others, they see them as threats. And therefore, to silence you, because you are a threat, you will do it. If you look at William Samoei Ruto has been using insult. It's only that many people have not been noting. Remember the way he addressed yule mtu akupigwa na bibi yake na mkuboka. I think he was referring to somebody, is it Papa Roma, somebody like that. Yule mtu wa minyororo, something like that. And when you look at the language that he used, it is derogatory, and it is used when you feel that you are insecure, when you feel very much frustrated. The other issue that results to insults, according to psychology, is when the ego is traumatized. That is, the ego. You know, men have ego. They have the id, the ego, and the super ego. And you know, leaders have very high ego. That's why they frustrate others. The fact that William Samoei Ruto is a head of state, head of government, and in charge of the armed forces, and that's commander-in-chief of the armed forces, means that he has a very high ego, and this ego must be protected. In fact, when you look at leaders, their walking style is different from others, and they walk very fast. If you look at Obama used to walk very fast. If you look at Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, he used to walk very fast. If you look at Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, he used to walk very fast, and William Samoei Ruto, in the same case, used to walk very fast. Even Kibaki would try, Kenyatta the same. And it is this ego that makes them behave the way they do. If you look at, for example, I'll give you an example of Jogo. Look at the way a cock behaves. And he behaves, and that's why a cock will always, when mating, you just come on top of the hen. And then after finishing whatever he's doing, He'll remove the eggs and go around the chicken, and in a lot of pride, and the ego is very, very high. All males have that. When that ego is traumatized, then that person is likely to insult other people. There is also the fear of failure. When somebody feels that he's going to fail or something will not be achieved, he tends to take the blame to others. And once you take the blame to others, you may do it by insulting them. That's such that once you fail, people will not accuse you, they will accuse the others. That is usually the objective. So in the process of trying to face the consequences, and because the consequences might be embarrassing, the consequences might be disastrous, the consequences may not be very good, you tend to insult the others. And the idea here could also be making others feel worthless, that you are not important, you are worthless, after all, your point is not valid. And such people, for example, when they go for a meeting, because they don't take your point as something that is important, they resort to insult. If you look at Mwai Kibaki would give the cabinet secretaries time to express themselves and give their ideas. The idea would be discussed in the cabinet and then to be implemented after it is exhausted. I want to give an example of Zitmore Kagwe, who brought the idea, the Okalau member of parliament, who brought the idea of the CDF. It was discussed, and after it was discussed at length, it was implemented. Today, everybody is talking about CDF. Again, the issue of the Vika superhighway. Remember when Raila was the roads minister, when he brought that, was it Tuskys, which supermarket was along Vika Road? Once it was brought down, people could not believe what Raila was doing. But that idea had been discussed exhaustively in the cabinet, and Kibaki knew that even if it failed, everybody would take the consequence. And again, he knew that he valued the point of others. So this language by the president has some psychological aspects. Any psychologist, any trainer of psychology or student of psychology will tell you that this is not Ruto that we know. It will tell you that it has some things to do with his thinking, his reasoning, and the way he's now taking things. And I think what you need to do is to moderate the language such that even if he doesn't agree with the opponent, he come out in a very, very objective way instead of being subjective. Because once it becomes subjective, he's going to lose many voters. I don't know what you think. It is my hope that this video is going to find you well, and please like the video, share and comment, and let me know where you're watching the video from. Bye bye.